Hello and welcome to round number 5 of Master Race Cars Rallycross Championship in Live for Speed. This week at Fern Bay, the second time we've been to Fern Bay this season, in the Shanker T16 mod. You're watching sim broadcasts on Twitch and YouTube, and we are almost ready to go for the 5th round of the championship, the rescheduled 5th round of the championship. Have a quick look at the calendar. And we are 1 round away, or 2 rounds away, from the end of the second season of Master Race Cars Rallycross Championship. The final round will take place at the end of May now at West Hill. Today's racing action is an hour earlier than usual, so thanks for joining us. And today we are at the Fern Bay 5, Fern Bay Rallycross configuration. The only alteration to this is the addition of a joker lap between turns 12, 13 and 14 at the end of the lap, just before the start-finish straight. The 2.0 kilometre, 1.2 mile Fern Bay Rallycross track is it's fantastic. You've got this excellently long straight with turn 1 a hard left-hand hairpin, a hard left-hand 90-degree left into a hairpin at the start of the first of 3 Rallycross sections on this configuration. The arguably the most difficult part of this track is the section between the Sector 1 line and the Joker. Very tight and twisty sector towards the end, as well as fast sweeping Rallycross dirt surface. So today we're going to have 3 heats as usual, and it looks like we're just going to get the 1 race per heat today, because that's how many cars we have in attendance, followed by the A final. The heats will be 3 laps in length and the final will be 4 laps. The organisers are just getting ready in the background, so while they're doing that, let's have a look at the car we're going to be using today, and the car we've been using all season long, the Shanker T16 mod by Tim Dicknodder, the promoter for the MRC RX Championship Series. It's a 2-litre inline-4 all-wheel drive car with 440 brake horsepower and weighing in just over a tonne. The lap times we'll expect from the Shanker T16, we're looking at times underneath the 1 minute 10s to complete a lap around here. And the tyres are only lasting around about 3 laps. So for the final, if you want to finish with your tyres intact and also enough pace to get across the line, you're going to need to save them a little bit over the first couple of laps. You're going to have to be very, very gentle with this car. So in the final, expect it to be a slower race because the drivers will have to do some tyre saving. This is by far the longest circuit we've had so far in the championship in terms of the actual lap time. So yeah, expect to see some drivers having to save their tyres, maybe even towards the end of the heat races. We'll have to wait and see. So it looks like we are going to take a very, very short break here while the drivers are ready in the background. So don't go anywhere, and we'll be back for the start of Heat 1 in just a few moments' time. Don't go anywhere. Hello and welcome back to round number 5 of Master Race Cars Rallycross Championship Season 2 at Fern Bay. The drivers are just about ready to go, and it looks like we are going to have 2 races per heat rather than just the 1, so that's better. So let's see if we are ready to go. Sounds like we are almost, very almost ready to go. So let's have a quick recap of the combination. We're at Fern Bay 5, and actually the drivers are on the grid. So let's get this show on the road for the first race between Teemu Sarkinen, Rafael Costa, and Goodis. And off they go straight away for the start, and it is a good start from all three. They're going to be pretty even into the first turn. Looks like Sarkinen will have the advantage being on the inside, whereas now Tim Ducknodder taking a bit of a switchback there, but tripping up over Goodis slightly. Sarkinen, a good start so far. And 3 laps for the heat races, of which we're going to have 2 per heat. And this is the first grid of 3 drivers. Tim Ducknodder currently at the back. That's Goodis right at the back, not Tim Ducknodder, my mistake. As Sarkinen there, has a really nice run into the second sector of this track. Costa in P2 currently, and Goodis right at the back, getting up on 2 wheels. My confusion. And Goodis running quite wide. The Joker is just after this next left-hander, so we'll have to see who decides to take it on this first lap. Will any of them choose to take it? It looks like Costa will, and it's very tight, so your exit is hampered. You end up on the grass. Goodis also goes through the Joker, so those 2 registered as completed. Sarkinen then the only driver left to do that, but he is already on to lap 2 of 3 here, all on his own. And it looks like Costa and Goodis are pretty separated as well. There's quite a lot of space between them, but Costa so far on this lap has done a good job closing up slightly to the back of Sarkinen. Keep an eye on the gaps between these 2 as they head across the sector line, which is around about now. Let's see what Costa's gap is to Sarkinen ahead. Slightly slower. So Sarkinen able to eke out a tiny margin then on this lap. Let's see if he decides to take the Joker, and we'll ride on board with the number 69. Decides not to go through the Joker on this occasion, and we'll have to wait until the final lap to take his Joker lap. Let's see, can Costa close that gap down? It looks like Goodis has dropped back considerably, almost 10 seconds now off the lead. And Costa is holding his own. It doesn't look like the gap's come down at all. In fact, it's now 3.58 seconds. As Sarkinen takes the hairpin for the final time in this heat, and onto the second or third strip of tarmac on the lap. It's a little bit dusty this, so it's not 100% grippy. And then a bit of an awkward entry into the final Rallycross section. Just 1 corner to go after this, but he has to do the Joker. He has to send his car into the Joker lap. And Costa is not far behind. Costa needs to absolutely nail this final corner, and Sarkinen needs to hope that this goes smoothly. Slows himself down nicely, gets a nice tight exit, and Costa is gonna have to settle for second. Sarkinen has the win in Heat 1, Race 1. A nice heat race there between those 2, closer than I imagined, but Costa definitely turned the screws towards the end. But Sarkinen with a better Joker. Goodis is coming around the final corner now, so we should see him. We can hear him, but we can't see him. There he is as he heads across the line. That is the final order for Heat Race 1. And completed in a time of 3 minutes 33.5. It was Costa who got the fastest lap of 107.68. So very nice time indeed from Costa. And the second race of Heat 1. Let's see if either of the, or any of the cars in that race can better that lap time. That's a very, very nice lap time indeed. One of the fastest I've seen so far from the drivers we've got here. All right, Sarkin, Costa and Goodis, that's the order that they will move into Heat 2 with. And let's see how the Heat 2 races will stack up after the next race in Heat 1. Who have we got in this heat? Well, we've got Tim Dicknodder, Drifterflex, and Renault Coots for Aerotech Racing, a late addition to this session. And those guys will be getting ready in the background, ready to go for their first heat race of the day, their first of 3. And here we are then. Renault Coots, Tim Dicknodder, and Drifterflex take to the start lights. And let's see how they perform off the line. Very even once again, but it is Tim Dicknodder who is slightly off into the lead, but Renault Coots there has the better line. Oh, goodness me, Tim getting forced out slightly wide, and Renault takes the lead as we head into the first Rallycross stage. Tim Dicknodder, of course, leading the championship, and would sorely like to get maximum points from this round if he can, but he has to get past the super fast Renault Coots. Renault Coots more used to traditional tarmac road racing, but trying his hand at Rallycross here today as he sends his car into the Rallycross stage on this circuit. The little jump there that he just went over is super tricky. If you take it wrong, you will end up into the wall. And pretty even at the moment between Renault Coots and Tim Dicknodder, but Drifterflex there in the background is dropping off slightly. Tim's going to go for the Joker. He's going to do it straight away, and that gives him some space. Drifterflex also takes the Joker lap, and that frees Renault Coots to just focus ahead and try and put in some stunning lap times as he breaks down into turn 1 once again. Tim Dicknodder has the carrot on a stick right ahead of him, and it looks like he's made good work of the Joker. 2.5 seconds, 2.3 seconds behind currently. We'll keep an eye on that gap. Not always obvious from the visible gap between the cars on the track, especially on Rallycross, and especially when we've got a lot of hairpins. Time can often feel quite distorted when you're watching from the outside. You have to rely on the numbers quite a bit. So we'll get an update here, and it's gone up by 0.5 tenth. Not too much to worry about. Renault Coots has a decision to make. Does he do the Joker now, or does he leave it till the last lap? He's going to leave it to the last lap. And let's take another look then at the timing screens as Tim Dicknodder comes across the line and see if he's actually making any gains on Renault Coots. He is not. He is dropping back by about 1/10 of a second. So Renault only needs to nail his Joker, and this race could be his as Tim bounces off the wall slightly, bounced off the apex. Not the best way to go around FE5. Really difficult to choose which gear is best. The torque curve of this car is slightly strange, and you often have to juggle the gearbox a little bit to find the optimum gear. So many different variations of corners. Very nice jump there from Tim. Super tricky on the landing, and then it's really difficult also to keep the apex tight as we just see Renault Coots beginning to disappear ahead, and Renault will be sure to dive into that Joker lap now as he hits the bump quite hard, and he's going to go wide, and that's going to well, he's going to compromise his exit, but Tim's also compromises his exit, and the win of race 2 in Heat 1 will go the way of Aerotech's Renault Coots. And we'll just wait for Drifterflex, who's already burned through his tyres. I did mention that the tyre life around here is pretty short. You've got to manage your tyres quite well in order to finish. And it was a faster heat race in the end, with a faster overall lap, overall fastest time, and also the fastest lap by Renault Coots there. Let's have a look at the results. There we are. Renault Coots 3 minutes 30.0 with a fastest lap of 107.05. So almost into the 106s. That's incredible. Very, very nice pace from Renault, considering he only decided to join in with the event about 5 minutes ago. Tim Nodder, championship leader, 1.2 seconds off the pace in the end after going quite wide at the final corner. And Drifter Flex, who's doing some nice donuts for us in the background there, 12 seconds off the lead in P3. And with that, we move on to heat number 2. Same 6 drivers, but in a different order based on their finishing results. So expect to see Renault Coots there in the first heat race. We'll let Tim juggle the grid order, and we'll be back in just a moment's time with heat number 2. The drivers are just about ready to go for heat number 2. The first race will be contested between between Drifterflex, Costa, and Goodis. As we head to the track action now, here we are. Here come the lights already between these 3, and it is a good start from Drifterflex, not a good start from Goodis at all. He drops back immediately, and Drifterflex gets a really nice launch away at the front. But it is Costa who leads the cars into turn 1, and Goodis already getting up into the back of Drifterflex into the first Rallycross section. Costa, well, he had the pace certainly in the first couple of rounds of the championship, but in recent weeks he's been a little bit off the pace. So good start to this heat for him. A good way to begin his round 5 campaign. Let's see how the 2 behind are getting on. They're frantically squabbling side by side. This track really is great for side-by-side action, as the hairpins lead one into another and the corners are, your cars are quite sideways. There's enough room to get alongside, as Goodis is attempting to do that just now. Car ahead completely disappears from view, even though they're right next to each other. But no way round for Goodis in this instance. Let's see if he'll decide to take the Joker. Yes, he will. So that will give him a little bit more space to Drifterflex, who himself goes quite wide. But Costa is absolutely miles in the lead so far. 1.6 second gap over, 3.7 second gap over Drifterflex, in fact. And Goodis even further back now that he's done his Joker. So Heat 2 going quite well so far for Costa. As we watch from this high camera as they go through the hairpin, the cars will bunch up slightly, but it is a bit of a distorted view of the race. Costa is really dominating this one so far. And Drifterflex needs to be careful not to be caught up by Goodis before he takes his Joker. That would be a disaster. But P2 is probably his target right now, unless Costa makes an uncharacteristic error on his own. Costa is approaching the Joker lap. Does he want to get it done now while he's got some space behind? Yes, he does. Takes a slightly wider line into the Joker, which seems to be better. There's not as much of a curb there. As Drifterflex also exits the Joker lap and is quite wide and comes out fairly close to Goodis. This is going to be close across the line. Goodis will want to get ahead as they head into the final lap, but it is Rafael Costa who leads the way out front. Goodis trying to go around the long way, and he's done it so far on the outside. Oh, nice move. That's a very nice overtake. But he has got the car all out of shape into turn 2. And that will punish him as Drifterflex takes back that position for now. As we switch over to Costa, who is already at the 3rd hairpin. And just has 1 sector to go then before his win in heat number 2. Over the jumps nicely, landing it perfectly. And Drifterflex has managed to open up a bit of a gap over Goodis. Goodis into the wall ever so slightly. Let's just watch Costa through the final corner and onto the home straight to complete a flawless heat race for himself. There he goes across the line. And as happened in his first race, Flex has decided to destroy his rear tyres, billowing smoke, but it doesn't matter because he takes P2. So an improvement over his first heat race performance. And that is that. That is heat 2 race number 1 done. And let's get the confirmation we need. It is Rafael Costa in 3 minutes 32.47, followed by Flex and Goodis. Rafael Costa, a 1:08.74, his best lap in that race. Ever so slightly slower than his lap in Heat 1. So it's going pretty well for Rafael Costa. That means we're going to have a race between Renault Coots, Tim, and Teemu Sarkinen. So it should be a pretty fast-paced heat, this. But let's wait and see. Let's see who of those 3 will come out on top as we immediately head to the grid for Heat 2, Race 2. Renault Coots on pole position, even though they're all side by side. Tim in the middle, and Sarkinen on, well, the closest to us as they pull away cleanly. It's a pretty even start once again. Renault Coots with the advantage on the left-hand side. And immediately the first car into turn 1. Sarkinen looking to go around the outside of Tim. Didn't quite work. Tim squeezed him onto the grass a little bit. But these 3 glued together. Renault slightly sideways, but getting the best exit so far out of turn 2 into the turn 3 hairpin. Tim's going to make contact. Is he? I looked close. Couldn't quite see from that angle. But I think he had to break out of it as he heads into the second sector now. These 3 really glued together. Sarkinen maybe a little bit waywards in the background, so turning into a 2-horse race initially then. Lovely over the jumps from Renault Coots, and Tim is right there, so Renault can't afford to make any mistakes at this point, else Tim will surely punish him for it. This car really does lend itself well to following and battling through the Rallycross section. Both Tim and Teemu Sarkinen have gone through the Joker, so Tim needs to do the opposite of what he managed to do last time and find some pace while Renault has the thought of the Joker lap in his mind. We need to compare sector times and lap times over the next lap. See what's possible for Tim. He seems to be a bit closer than he was at this point last race, only 2.2 seconds back now. And that's all because he was closer to Coots when he went into the Joker at the end of lap 1. Sarkinen is still there, but 2 and a bit seconds behind Tim. So best Sarkinen can hope for an improvement is a mistake from one of these 2 drivers, but Tim and Renault's form so far in Heat 1 was pretty great, and it looks like Renault's going to leave his Joker to the final lap as he did in Heat 1, and it's now Tim's chance to try and close that gap down and get past once Renault does that Joker. It's not going well so far. The gap is opening up ever so slightly. Renault doing everything he needs to do just now. But the margins are so tight because the Joker lap is so small and fairly technical. It can change the race entirely. Tim has gone very wide at the hairpin. His front end was facing the apex of the corner the whole way round, but his rear wheels were following the edge of the track. So you can see visibly that Tim has lost a lot of time. Almost a second, in fact, almost over a second just from that hairpin. And he's hit the wall, so he's a little bit on the ropes. So Coots can breathe and gives him a little bit more time to take his Joker lap cleanly. Wasn't the best entry, a bit aggressive over the gravel section as we enter the final corner, but it is going to be Renault Coots who will win this heat comfortably in the end, ahead of Tim Ducknotter. Here he comes, and last but not least, the closest heat we've had, Teemu Sarkinen. So there we are then, the results of Heat 2, Race 2. Renault Coots in 3 minutes 29.7 seconds with a fastest lap of a 106.79. Easily the fastest heat and time we've seen today. Victory for Renault Coots, number 40. Tim Ducknotter, P2, only 2 seconds back. And then Teemu Sarkinen, a further 2 seconds behind. Rounds out Heat 2. We'll be back in just a moment for the start of Heat number 3. Don't go anywhere. Here we go then for the third heat of the day. This one will be contested between Sarkinen, Goodis and Flex as we see the lights coming on, and off they go already. Sarkinen with a good launch, very, very even Stevens at the moment, but Sarkinen will have the advantage as we head into turn number 1. The driver on the outside doesn't tend to do too well. Goodis attempting the switchback. And but he's clipped the back of Goodis. And Sarkinen, well, a little bit of a bump and run, but you know, all's fair in Rallycross, isn't it? Really. Let's see. What will Sarkinen do now? Will he feel a bit rattled? No, he doesn't. It doesn't look like he cares at all. He's absolutely flying. So just brush it off and carry on. Goodis will have to pick up the pieces and try and catch back up to Flex. 3 laps around here is not a lot. It is easy to lose time. It's incredibly difficult to gain it back. And especially if your teammates are, your competitors rather, are putting in consistent lap times. Out the final corner on lap 1 comes Sarkinen. Goodis has gone down the Joker, so he's cutting his losses early. Hit the wall as well. So that's not going to help him at all. So this could be a straight shootout between Sarkinen and Flex, but don't be surprised to see a change of position between Goodis and Flex. Goodis has a lot more experience in this championship than Flex does. But at the moment it is Sarkinen after that lap 1 incident with Goodis, who is pulling away 2.5 seconds almost the gap back to Flex, and a further 4.5 back to Goodis. as he heads over the sector time now. We'll get an update of his gap to Flex, 3.4 seconds. So a further 1.2 seconds opened up. And Flex looking a little bit like the car's driving him at the moment. That was quite an erratic jump, but he managed to thread the needle. Again, very wide. And this is what we've seen in both races so far from Flex, that even as we're exiting or ending lap 2, his tyres are already starting to complain as he goes through the Joker. And he comes out well ahead of Goodis. So just one lap to go then to keep ahead. But has he managed his tyres better in this heat race than he did in the previous 2? I already saw a puff of smoke through the penultimate corner. And there we are again. Smoke flying off those rear wheels. Goodis into the wall as well. Meanwhile, Sarkinen has checked out up the road. Still to do his Joker, of course. It can go wrong in there. We've seen Jokers go wrong plenty of times so far in this championship. Sarkinen heads off into the second sector then. But what can Goodis do? Goodis has an opportunity here to try and get past Flex. He knows that Flex's tyres are struggling. He can see the dirt, but Goodis is struggling with the understeer of this car. This car does have a lot of understeer in it, and you do have to dial that out in the setup, and he's clearly struggling at the moment as he's struggling for control, and that's all gone wrong, and he'll have to reverse that out of the wall, so it's all over for Goodis. Sarkinen heads into the Joker. Not completely clean, but he is out, and he's out well ahead of Flex, who, as we have come to see, he likes to do the final corner with a lot of smoke coming out of his tyres, and across the line he comes to take P2. 7 seconds back though. That was really impressive from Sarkinen. Very, very nice driving indeed, and it'll be a bit of a wait then for Goodis, who gives us a bit of a flourish to the finish to take P3. But he will not have liked that one. He would absolutely not have liked that one at all. And there we are. Confirmation of those results. 3 minutes 35.7 for Sarkinen. Fastest lap of 109.29. And then it was Flex and Goodis, who Goodis just didn't have a good race there at all. So, yep, bit frustrating for him, but we'll have to see what he can do in the final. So then the final heat race of the event today will be fought out between Renault Coots, Noda and Rafael Costa in just a moment's time. The drivers I just mentioned take the grid, and it will be Renault Coots in the yellow machine, Tim Noda in the centre, and Rafael Costa driving that orange number 46 car as they launch away. And Tim Noda with a good launch manages to get a nose ahead of Renault Coots. Will it be enough into the braking zone? He brakes later as well, trying to make that outside line work, and it looks like he's doing a good job so far. Renault will still have the inside into turn 2. Side by side they go. This car does not like side by side contact, but it is Tim Noda who takes over the lead at the early stage of this race. Can he keep it on the tarmac? Yes, he can. So important through there. You can run very wide, but Tim, he's gone wide again, has he? Oh, Renault trying to back out, not wanting to make the contact. Been very, very friendly there to Tim, and Tim gives him the hard shoulder, and there are going to be 3 wide as we head across the sector time. And Coots just has a nose in there, but breaks just out of it, and that allows Tim Noda to take the lead once again as they head through into the middle part of the lap. And Rafael Costa is right there as well, benefiting from the 2 ahead of them scrapping out. Let's see if any of them decide to go through the Joker lap. That was absolutely excellent start to this heat race. It does look like Tim is going to go through. Will Coots go into the Joker? Yes, he does. So does Costa. And Coots gets a nice exit as well. So, role reversal. Last 2 times that Tim and Renault have been racing, it has been Renault Coots who waited till the final lap. But what will Tim do now after that excellent first lap? He needs to keep it clean. He struggled in the previous rounds of the championship to just do consistently clean races. He really has struggled with that. But it is at the moment, it looks like Renault Coots is on the back foot. Not a fantastic line through turn 2. But yeah, trying to pull himself away from Rafael Costa. Tim Noda again a bit wide, and you can see that Renault Coots was able to close up ever so slightly the gap at 3 seconds as they headed over start-finish. What is it going to be as they head across the sector time? Well, there goes Tim. Here comes Renault, and it's down to 2.5 seconds. So half a second taken out of Tim's lead in that sector alone by Renault Coots, the air attack driver. And Tim will see that. He'll see that yellow car looming larger and larger in his rearview mirror. There is a good amount of visibility out the back of this car. Not a huge amount, but a good amount. And Tim, well, he doesn't want to leave it to the final lap. Very aggressive entry into the Joker. And that's going to let Renault Coots draw alongside him. And we're going to have a grandstand finish to the final heat race between these two drivers. Renault has edged ahead, and that's a great outlap for him, if you can consider the Joker to be a kind of a pit stop, I guess, in normal racing, as Renault Coots takes the lead cleanly on the final lap. And these three are nose to tail. Tim's going to have to get his shoulders out again if he wants to try and get through. Big sends necessary. He can't afford to go wide again at this corner, and he has slightly, has he? Yes, slightly wide for Tim. Costa right there as well, but Renault Coots is converting his pace into another very, very commanding victory here so far, and he's opened the gap up to probably half a second already on this lap. Only a few corners to go. Very nice over the jump. So clean the landing for Renault. And Tim tighter on the entry, but washing out slightly wider than Renault on the exit. And again, around this final section of corners, Renault just able to get his car down to the apex better than Tim. Tim runs wide again, and that's just allowing Renault to cling on to his third heat race win of the event out of 3. Very nice driving from Renault Coots. What a fantastic heat that was between all three of these drivers. Hats off to Tim Notter and Rafael Costa, finishing only, well, 2.9 seconds apart, our fastest heat race. Absolutely sensational stuff. And that lines us up for a very entertaining, hopefully a very entertaining final between all of these guys. 3 minutes 30.75, fastest lap of 107.09. Even with all that going on, Renault Coots still managing to put in an absolutely excellent finishing time and also fastest lap of the race. Tim Notter 1.75 seconds off our championship leader, and Rafael Costa in P3. Let's have a look then at how the championship standings looked before we went into this race, just to see, you know, what the shape of the championship is. We have a lot of drivers who have not attended today, so Tim Notter, regardless of what happens, we expect him to open up his championship lead over Michael Malak, who is not in attendance. Rafael Costa is in attendance and could be looking to overtake Michael Malak in the standings. If he gets a good result in the final, then he will surely take over P2 in the championship. Haven't seen Matthias Malinowski, Daniel Balla, Martin Gabal, or Jaroslav Donelik for a while, but Gabor Gyur, Wolfgangus Goodis, Jimmy Vertinen, Timi Sarkinen, Jamie Tressida, Jared Mead, and Hassan Talha Unsal round out the 14 drivers in our standings there. The grid for the final is being set up in the background, and I believe it's going to form. We're going to have all of our drivers who we've seen competing out. There's not going to be 2 finals. It's just going to be the one. So everyone in together. It's going to be a fairly quick turnaround. So get your seats ready, get your popcorn out, and let's have an A final with all 6 of the drivers you've seen today. Can Tim extend his championship lead by the maximum amount, or will he just extend it by a slightly smaller amount, because Renault Coots is looking pretty fierce. Tim Notter hasn't had it all his own way in the finals so far this season. It's not all gone his way. He has had some moments with hardware and also through unforced errors. But hopefully we have none of that today, and we have a clean fight to the finish between the two of them. And here we go then for the grid. And our action here tonight comes to a close. So this is the test start that we've all been used to in the championship so far, just to see how the drivers cope off the start. And initially, a good getaway from Renault Coots, and Tim Notter forced down the order slightly, but only to P2. Timo Sarkinen really throwing everything at it. And we'll probably restart after the next corner, as it looks like Goodis takes to the off track. Yep, Tim's slowing down. He's going to restart the race now. And here we go. 4 laps now of racing. Hopefully the drivers have sorted their fuel out. Here we go then. The final of round number 5 of Master Race Cars Rallycross Championship Season 2. And it will be Renault Coots, Tim Nodder, Rafael Costa, Sarkinen, Flex, and Goodis in that order across 3 rows. And a good start from the front too. Let's see as they run down to turn 1. Renault Coots just with a nose ahead. It's very, very marginal though as he heads down into the braking zone. No one to challenge him at all. And gets a nice apex. But it is Tim who's been swallowed up by Sarkinen. Sarkinen then the man on the move. And having a sniff around the outside of Renault Coots. Goodis again struggling on the start of this race as well. But Tim trying to get alongside, and there's contact with Flex. Flex has spun around, but not before slamming into the side of Tim Nodder. That won't have helped him at all. But it is Rafael Costa P4 and Goodis then in P5 after his excursion in the opening 2 corners. But Renault Coots has had a very, very clean run so far. He's in the lead. Very, very nice. Look at the poise of that car as he heads through this long sweeping right-hander. Very, very difficult corner to do. Would be difficult if it was tarmac, let alone that it's gravel. Which of the drivers are going to take their joker? It's Tim Nodder and Costa and Goodis. So 3 drivers deciding to take their joker. Now Tim absolutely needs to focus and focus on Teemu Sarkinen to begin with. Hopefully, well, this is what Tim will be thinking. Hopefully that Sarkinen and Coots begin to fight. We do have the extra lap as well thrown into the mix, so who is going to be able to manage their tyres the best? Renault Coots has been super smooth, using as little of those tyres as he can throughout the heat races this afternoon. So expect him to be okay, as well as Sarkinen. But it is now turning into a bit of a scrap towards the back. Drifter Flex has not taken his joker lap, and he is already last, so he is possibly out of the count right now. So turning into a 5-horse race, led by Renault Coots. Now, will Renault take his joker early? Probably not. He's going to want to open that gap up to Sarkinen a little bit more. He has clean air. He has track position. Why waste anything by taking the joker? And Sarkinen does the opposite of that. He goes in and will exit cleanly and comfortably ahead of Tim Nodder. And that gives Tim the benchmark that he needs to work on. Our championship leader has a lot of work to do as Goodis slams into the joker wall. Don't know whether he was aiming to go into the joker. He's already done his joker, so an error. And he actually goes into the pit lane, even though the pit lane is blocked off. A good effort, but he's now inside the pit wall. So a big incident there for Goodis. And that puts him out of this race, unfortunately. Renault Coots then, the only driver left to serve the joker, but there are 4.5 seconds to the cars behind. The cars behind are pretty close. It's Sarkinen, followed by Tim Nodder, followed by Rafael Costa then, as we head across the sector time. Let's keep an eye on that gap between Tim Nodder and Sarkinen. 1 second, and Tim has rolled it. Our championship leader, has rolled the car. Will he be able to land on his wheels? Yes, he is. He's been very fortunate there indeed. And goodness me, he took way too much curb before the jump, and that could lose him the podium. So he might not even get a podium here unless he can convert his final lap into something incredibly special. But a roll from our championship leader is not what he needed. But Renault Coots does his joker and comfortably comes out in the lead. We can barely see Sarkinen in the background. The number 69 car turns it into turn 1 and is looking like he's going to be able to score another very nice result here and closing the gap up to his competitors. Rafael Costa, again, a nice race so far from him, and gifted a position by Tim Nodder. What a shocker from him. Not the way he wanted this race to go at all. But providing plenty of entertainment and spectacle for the viewers. Thank you everyone for tuning in for this round 5 of the Master Race Car Rallycross Championship Season 2. We're watching Tim Nodder 5 seconds now behind Costa. It's all gone wrong for him. Must have a lot of damage on that car. And Coots is already at the final set of corners. He's slowing down quite a bit because the tyres are screaming on everybody's cars now. These tyres do not like these longer races in the 440 brake horsepower Shanker T16. But for the 5th time in the championship, it has put on a show for us. And so has Renault Coots, who wins all 4 of his races this afternoon. Teemu Sarkinen comes across the line in P2. Very well deserved there. Good performances all afternoon long. And then it's Rafael Costa, who a bit of a return to form perhaps, finishing in P3. But disappointment can be the only word we use for Tim McNodder's race. He must be feeling awful after that. P4, 16 seconds down for him, and not able to take as many points, as he would have liked. Flex has run out of fuel, so he didn't put enough fuel in for the extra lap, and is left stranded somewhere out on the circuit. So he will not finish. It looks like he is somewhere on the start-finish straight. Someone might be able to push him, but he's not currently able to finish. Live for Speed may remove him from the race if he's stationary for too long. But let's see, will anyone else be able to help him out and classify him in the results? Let's see if Renault knows what's going on and can help his fellow competitor across the line. Now, he's on the left-hand side. Yeah, Renault's going to push him across the line just in time. And that's nice to see, isn't it? So Renault pushes Drifter Flex across the line. Goodis, our only non-finisher. There we are then. Across the line comes Flex. And let's get full classification then of the final results of the session. All 6 of the drivers that took part in the heat races were in the final, and it was Renault Coutts in 4 minutes 37.39 with a fastest lap of a 106.7 in the final. Absolutely fantastic lap time. Wins round number 5. Teemu Sarkkinen finishes 4 seconds back in second. Rafael Costa in P3, rounding out our podium. And then Tim McNodder, championship leader. He will continue to be the championship leader, although the gap to Costa will have come down. And Drifter Flex, newcomer to the championship, in P5, with Wolfgangus Goodis rounding out the results, a non-finisher, 3 laps down, in P number 6. Well, there we have it, ladies and gents. That is round number 5 of the championship, and it went the way of Renault Coutts, a last-minute entry, stunning the field here today with his Rallycross prowess, and a nice job he did indeed. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back in just a moment for a summary and potentially some interviews with some drivers. Don't go anywhere. So that final race was pretty frantic. The final heat race and the final was pretty fraught too. But it is Renault Coutts who wins round number 5, and that just about sums up his afternoon. He won everything from his heat races all the way through until the final. A properly good effort from him, taking the fastest lap of the event as well. Teemu Sarkkinen there, P2, will be gaining some points in the championship, as well as Rafael Costa. Tim will not extend his lead, but he will add more points to his tally. Flex in P5 and Wolfgangus Goodis, an afternoon to forget in the end. 3 laps down, crashing into the Joker lap wall and then into the end of the pit lane. Unfortunately, spelled the end to his afternoon. If you want to get involved in the Master Race Car Rallycross Championship, the second season finale will be taking place next week. At the end of May. And you can catch all of the action here on Sim Broadcast, or if you want to, you can join as a competitor, and that will be taking place on the 29th of May at West Hill Rallycross, another custom configuration which all of the drivers that we've spoken to throughout the season so far have been very excited about. It's the track everybody's looking forward to. So hopefully we'll see some more drivers there than have been in attendance today, and hopefully some new faces. So any of you watching, if you feel like getting involved in the season finale of the second season of MRC Rallycross Championship, please go ahead and sign up on the Live for Speed forum after today's events when sign-ups reopen. That's pretty much everything from us here. We have been, well, really impressed with what we've seen from the action today. Renault Coutts, obviously the star of the show, can't really deny that, taking all of the accolades with him. But let's hope that we get the season finale that this season deserves in a few weeks' time. So we hope you can join us on May 29th for that. One final notice before we go is that we have to announce officially the trailer for the upcoming 6 hours of Kyoto race by Argentina Turismo. This is a race that will use the Le Mans Prototype 2 inspired Prototype 2 mod in Live for Speed, as well as the GTR class. So before we sign off for today, please sit back and enjoy the trailer that the Argentina Turismo team have put together for their upcoming 6 hours of Kyoto event. And there we are. That was the trailer for that event. And yeah, before we go, we must thank Tim Ducknodder and all of the MRC team for putting together the Rallycross Championship series. Please join us on May 29th for the finale, and that will take place at the West Hill Rallycross circuit. If you fancy getting involved, please sign up on the Live for Speed forum, and we hope to see you either watching the broadcast or in the racing action. Let's hope it's the finale this season deserves. Thank you everyone for watching. This has been another Sim broadcast. I've been Peter Butcher. I've had Chris in my ear helping me along today. So thanks to all of the Sim broadcast team as ever for putting this together, and we'll hope to see you next time. Thanks a lot and good afternoon.